Hey guys, going to Disneyland and need advice? Check out this video.
So you're going to Disneyland, or you've been to Disneyland a few times and you're looking for some advice from locals? Well, we want to give you some advice to help you save time and money. One of our tips for saving time is to, if you can at all costs, try not to drive. What I mean is try and use a hotel shuttle if you're staying at a hotel close by, or take an Uber, or have a friend drop you off. Because if you're having to park the way Disney wants you to park, you're gonna enter one of the biggest security lines that you're gonna meet. So what they do is they funnel everybody into this parking garage. Once you get out of the parking garage, you have to immediately go into the security line, so that way you can take the shuttle that takes you into the Disney park. So the problem with that is everybody who's parking that garage at the same time is wanting to come down, go through the security lines, and that's one of the biggest security lines that you want to avoid. Also, if you go to the very front entrance of the Disneyland park, the security line's pretty long as well, because people who are staying at all those hotels are all walking around the same time, hoping to get into the park through that entrance. So our tip, the secret security line that a lot of people don't do and a lot of people don't realize, is Downtown Disney. Downtown Disney's security line is significantly shorter. It's a fraction of the time. There's some times where you can go and you just walk straight up and you can go right through security. There's no line at all.
So we like to park in Downtown Disney because we have season passes and we're not there all day. So one thing a tip that we like to do, if you're just planning to go for 3 or 5 hours, if you spend $20 at any shop in Downtown Disney, you get 3 hours of free parking. So just make sure that you bring your parking ticket with you and they'll validate that at any of those shops. If you want 5 hours of free parking, you can go bring your ticket, they'll validate at any sit-down restaurant in Downtown Disney.
Okay, so the catch here is you gotta be really intentional, because if you are staying for more than 5 hours, they're gonna start charging you every 30 minutes. I believe the rates are $14 an hour and it's in 30-minute increments. So $7 every 30 minutes. So the secret trick is to go park Downtown Disney, walk through the small little security line that's non-existent, and then you go to the tram and you take the tram all the way into Disneyland, and it'll put you right by Autotopia. The catch is the monorail does not always work.
So in saying that, one thing when you get there, the first thing you're going to ask them, how many trains are you running? And if they say just one, you're gonna want to ditch that line and just walk. It'll be faster if you walk, and it's hard for kids to wait that long. Another thing, if there are 2 trains running at the time, one thing that you want to do, they have gates that look like they're going to open. They only open the very end gate. So what you're going to want to do is push all the way back with your kids and your family, just past everyone, go all the way to the end, and that's where they're going to open the gates.
If you're leaving from Disneyland to go to Downtown Disney, the monorail doesn't work like that. All the gates open, so you can just line up wherever you want at that point. It's just Downtown Disney monorail. You need to go to the very, very end because they only open up the end gate. Another thing to help you save time is to download the Disney app. And the reason why this is important is because it gives you access to all the attractions, the wait times, the character locations, the show times, when they start, where you're at, and it's actually just an entire map of Disneyland Park, from Downtown Disney, California Adventure, Disneyland Park. It shows you exactly where you want to be. So that way, as you walk into the park, or if you're on the monorail, or you're waiting in line somewhere, you can kind of scout where you want to go next.
And you can actually sync your ticket up to your app.
A lot of people traditionally have their Disneyland tickets, and then have to run to each location if they want to get a fast pass. The good news with the Disneyland app is you can actually redeem fast passes and access fast passes and request fast passes all through the Disneyland app. So a good example is my daughter and I were in line at Guardian of the Galaxy. While we still were in line, we were able to book another fast pass for rides in Disneyland, not just in California Adventure. So that way you can book fast passes while you're in line at other rides, other attractions. You don't have to send a runner and run across the park to go claim a fast pass.
And it lets you know if any rides are shut down so you don't waste your time. Another cool thing is you can link PhotoPass photos to the app. So after a ride or after a photo with a character, you can actually sync it, and when you get home, everything will be loaded onto your app.
Some of the biggest expenses outside of your park admissions is going to be where you stay and the food you eat. And so if we can cut down some of the cost on where you stay, that's a big help, right? That's your hotel. So I'm assuming most of you guys are from out of state. A lot of people tend to stay right around Disneyland Park for good reason. You know, it makes sense, and they're kind of themed with Disneyland and Mickey, and they advertise that, but you're paying premium dollar for that. So if you can, book a hotel, maybe a 3, 4, 5 mile radius outside of the park. Their prices are going to be significantly cheaper, and most likely they're going to have a shuttle that can bring you in. If not, you can easily take an Uber, which is going to save you time anyways, because you can get dropped off at downtown Disney and you don't have to pay for parking, you don't have to worry about your car. So that'd be one of our biggest advices, is if you could book a hotel or book an Airbnb that's a little bit further away from the park, you're going to get outside of the tourist trap.
If your kids are like our kids, they love to snack, and that really adds up at Disney. So one way to save huge on money is to pack a backpack full of their favorite snacks and healthy options too, which would be great. And Disney has lockers that you can rent out to store stuff there if you don't want to be carrying around all the time, and if you don't want to pay top dollar for Disney snacks. So you can pack a full backpack of snacks and food and water as long as it doesn't have a glass container.
And so hopefully those tips will help you save time and money. Now, here's a couple just general practical tips for you.
We should tell people too that if you want a stroller, it's not inside the park.
Yeah, it's right
You
over
have
there.
to go outside over there.
Stroller's over there.
Outside of the park.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people actually enter and then have to exit and re-enter again.
Yeah, it's annoying if the line's long too.
Another thing to consider is if you want dinner reservations, you need to book it 60 days in advance. You can't book beyond that, but you also don't want to try and book the day of, because you're going to have really limited availability. Now, one thing to keep in mind though, at Disneyland, if you do have a reservation, you have to make sure that everybody that is on that party is there at that time, or else they'll not let you get to your table.
For reservations for the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, you can actually make reservations 160 days before you're booking for Disneyland. So make sure that you book that right away. Those go really fast. If you booked a last minute Disney trip and your child really wants to get in, you can go in the day of and see if they have any cancellations or any last minute bookings, and they might be able to squeeze you in that day. Another thing a lot of people don't know about is Disney actually has a child services that you can go, you can nurse your baby, feed them, change them, have a quiet space of rest, and that's all included in the guest services of Disney.
So those are some of our tips to help you save time, energy, and sanity at Disneyland.
So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our next video.
Enjoy your trip.